Good afternoon, everyone. I would request all participants to keep their camera on. We will be starting our FDP at 2 p.m. sharp. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Indu ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. This is John Paul from Christ University.
Yes.
We cannot send any chat messages as chat messages are turned off by the host.
Yes, it will be enabled shortly. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Chat is enabled now.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. It's okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Dr. Sadaf, Dr. Rohit Bansal is there with us now.
Okay, thank you, Sarika.
Frontier. Dr. Sadaf, we can start now. It's 2 p.m. Mr. Shantanu also has joined us.
It's my esteemed privilege to welcome more than, I don't know, we have right now more than 100 participants, but we have academicians, researchers, corporates, students from across 30 countries, along with all states from India and 500 institutions. So with this, I extend a very warm welcome on behalf of Atlas Skill Tech University's Center of Excellence for Transformative Education, in association with our partner Gracia, to our 6-day national level FDP on funded research projects. Once again, I welcome you all. So firstly, I would like to tell you all about the Atlas Skill Tech University, which is India's first skill tech university and a very new age urban multidisciplinary university. It has been founded to carve a path which has a Triveni Sangam of design, technology, strategy, topped with leadership. We believe in breaking paths and conventions. We are constantly defining, shaping, and redefining the future of education in India, right here in the heart of the city of Mumbai, which is ever bustling and ever booming. With India's National Education Policy 2020 at the cornerstone, Atlas endeavors to deliver a multidisciplinary education across three new age streams, that is design and innovation, management and entrepreneurship, and digital technology. It has adopted a futuristic model co-created with an international community of scholars, academicians, as well as industry experts, world leaders in education with undivided focus on academic excellence, not just world-class faculty from all over the globe, but even the faculty from India, coupled with state-of-the-art infrastructure, global institutional collaborations, and unique corporate connect is empowering our students to succeed in the existing Industry 4.0, as well as to be the leaders in the forthcoming Industry 5.0. A vibrant community of Atlas Fellows has gone to pursue higher education at top-ranked universities in the world and work shoulder to shoulder with leading industry stalwarts. Atlas faculty and fellows have collaborated with best across the world to solve today's pressing problems. Universities' interdisciplinary approach and the 21st century university skills ensure that Atlas students are future ready to continue to drive the global impact in our VUCA world that we live in. This exceptional outcome and our goal to inspire the next generation of leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs is Atlas Reason to Dare. I also acknowledge presence of our President and Chancellor, Dr. Indu Shahani, Dr. Hina Thakkar, our Pro Vice Chancellor, and all our esteemed speakers, Mr. Shantanu Bagwe, our channel partner from Gracia. Now we move on to the theme of our presentation. The primary objective of organizing this FDP was to enhance the knowledge and skills of the participants in effectively conceptualizing, designing, and executing funded research projects. Research is the core in national level education, research is our core in a national education policy, and this program will enhance participants with insights into research management, grant proposal writing, successful project implementation, budgeting, and its financial management. This program will also help participants from every field who are keen to apply for these grant proposals and funded research projects, and will also have insights on promoting excellence in research by understanding on how do you go about starting the research project, as well as approaching stalwart and exemplary universities, as well as approaching institutions like DST, CSIR, DRDO, Niti Aayog, and many others, including the Ministry of Commerce and the Human Resource Department. This program is designed to highlight the fundamentals of research management on submission of proposal and the in-depth knowledge of prerequisites of proposal writing. Further, it highlights various platforms and strategies for collection of relevant data for the projects, interpretation and analysis of the collected data, project dissemination, and its sustainability. The fundamentals of the project are relevant to all industries and sectors, and thereby the target audience has included a vast forum of faculties, researchers, students, as well as body corporates from across the globe, including all states in India. A sizable number of researchers find the process very difficult to apply for the funded research projects, and thereby to ease out these difficulties, we are really privileged to organize this for this large forum and this large audience. Now I would request our President, Dr. Indu Shahani ma'am, to please address the audience.
Thank you so much. And it's indeed a pleasure today to welcome all the participants for this faculty development program on funded projects. I must say that research and funded projects are the catalyst for innovation, advancement, and growth of universities, offering the academic community a means to push the boundaries of knowledge and to contribute to social progress. Our heartiest gratitude.
And the new format may be from A.
Hello. Our heartiest gratitude extends to our participants who hail from more than 30 countries, as was told to you, representing a global community with a shared dedication to research and funded projects. Registrations have flooded in from over 500 distinguished institutions across India, which include illustrious institutions such as IITs, IIMs, NITs, and a wide spectrum of both government and private universities, leading universities and institutions. We are truly humbled by the enthusiasm and the diversity of the participants, comprising of students, scholars, faculty members, and professionals from the corporate world. Moreover, the knowledge and wisdom that the program promises to impart will be guided by a group of eminent speakers who have accounted and have accumulated rich experiences in the realm of funded projects. Their invaluable contribution, including their expertise from various educational institutions, such as Dr. Rohit Bansal from Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Petroleum Technology, Sukanya Dikshit from our very own Atlas Skill Tech University, Dr. Mohammad Nair Rahman from Aligarh Muslim University, Dr. Somadatta Banerjee from IIFT, and Dr. Komal Chopra from Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies, and Dr. Maushami Datta from Nagindas Khanwala College in Mumbai. We are confident that this program will serve as a nexus of knowledge, ideas, and opportunities, propelling the field of research, the funded projects, to absolutely new heights. Together, let us explore the boundaries and the possibilities and the potential for growth in academia. Thank you so much for joining us, and it's going to be a very exciting week that is coming ahead. But before I close, may I take this opportunity of inviting each one of you to visit us at the Atlas Skill Tech University, because it is indeed India's first Skill Tech University, but not just Skill Tech University, but it's one of the first universities that has become an urban university, a university, a campus within corporates. And I would like you to take this opportunity to see Maharashtra State's skills, entrepreneurship, and employment department having taken the lead in the state in starting this university. We are very happy that this is the only university, I would say, to begin with, which is promoted by teachers. And we are happy to see that some of our teachers who have promoted the university are with us today. For example, Professor Hina Thakkar, who has been the Pro-Vice Chancellor and one of the leaders of this institution. I also take this opportunity in warmly welcoming you all on behalf of our Vice Chancellor, who is currently attending another program outside Mumbai and wanted to be very much here to welcome you all. But I'm sure you will meet him in one of these 6 days that this program is going on. Meanwhile, all the best And please take this opportunity to visit us in Mumbai. Just write to us and we will be able to receive you in Mumbai, and our students would get the benefit of having all of you. So all the best for this program on funded research. It's something that really is very close to our heart. All the best, and do hope. And let me also congratulate Dr. Varsha Agarwal here and Dr. Sadaf, who have taken the lead in getting this entire thing together. So all the best and have a great 6 days of learning. All the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was indeed very big morale booster for all of us. I would also like to welcome Mr. Shantanu Bagwe from our channel partner, Rasya. I would like to give a short introduction about our channel partner now. Gracia Global Advisory LLP is a leading consulting firm that provides a wide range of advisory, accounting, tax, and compliance services to businesses of all sizes. Their mission is to provide clients with a one-step solution for all their business, financial, and regulatory requirements. Their vision is to be a valued partner in the growth and prosperity of their clients, employees, and all those associated with them. They are a great team of dedicated members with a mix of chartered accountants, MBAs, lawyers, as well as company secretaries. They also have a panel of dedicated experts and consultants. They assist their clients in various service areas, which includes accounting outsourcing, GST advisory and litigation, startup and SME advisory, loan syndication, RERA advisory, legal assistance and advisory, automation and software development, etc. They serve clients from across a wide variety of industries, including insurance, healthcare, consumer electronics, startups, IT, real estate, and construction. We are esteemed very privileged to have Mr. Shantanu and be a channel partner for our funded research projects. Thank you, Mr. Shantanu. I would request if you could address the audience.
Thank you so much. First of all, it's my pleasure to be here. It's pleasure to be associated with Atlas Caltech on one of this, their venture. And, I would like to thank each one of you guys, who I really appreciate and acknowledge the kind of participation which, I'm really astonished to see this participation about this program. Because I really believe that about funded projects or research, I think this is one of a niche or one of its kind of a program. So the way Atlas Caltech so far has done something, probably it's one of the university which is having things which are one of its kind for the first time in India. So I believe this program is nothing but, again, one such milestone, which I don't believe that I have seen such program which is quite focused on funded research projects. So, I really appreciate the entire team, the kind of efforts which the entire, team of Atlas Caltech, which they have put in to articulate this program, first of all, and the intention with which it has been done. Now, I'll not be taking more than 2 minutes, but just I would like to share one thing that when we work as an integral part of most of the startups, NGOs or MNCs in, assisting them with various of their business requirements, one thing which I always believe that most of the incentives or, such funded projects or any other grants, which many of the new ventures or startups in India, they are not actually aware of. So it's quite of a niche segment which people are clueless. There is quite an awareness about compliances, funding as far as banks are concerned and everything. But specifically, when we think of research, I don't think so there is any awareness as far as India is concerned. And considering the ongoing and upcoming Make in India wave, most of the foreign investors coming to India, I believe this is the right time wherein Atlas Critech has started creating awareness. It's not just about creating awareness, but probably Atlas is doing a considerable and fantastic job, wherein probably they are going to train more than hundreds of people who will be the torchbearers to spread this awareness about funded research projects. So I feel that it's quite one of the best programs, and considering the faculties and the eminent speakers will be addressing this session in next few days, I think it's one kind of its opportunity for all the participants. And once again, thanks to entire Atlas Skilltech team, and wish you all the best, all the participants. And I'm pretty sure that this is gonna be a interesting journey for all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Shantanu, and thank you for partnering with Atlas Skilltech University for this national level FDP. Now I would request our speaker for the day, Dr. Rohit Bansal, to come on live, and I would take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Rohit Bansal, who is the Associate Professor at Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Petroleum Technology. Dr. Rohit Bansal is in the Department of Management Studies as an Associate Professor. He holds his PhD degree from IIT Roorkee in Finance and has more than 10 years of research and teaching experience. His area of research includes behavioral finance, corporate finance, sustainable finance, as well as financial services. He regularly contributes to articles, to referred journals, as well as books, and has contributed many book chapters which are published by reputed national and international publishers. To his credit, he has several case studies, research papers, book chapters, conference proceedings, and presentations. He has also published papers in ABDC ranked journals. Dr. Bansal has published papers in International Journal of Consumer Studies, International Journal of Emerging Markets, and Asian Case Research Journal, Qualitative Research in Financial Markets, and Oil and Gas Journal. He serves as a reviewer to many prestigious journals like the Journal of Retailing and Consumer Services, International Journal of Consumer Studies, Journal of Emerging Markets, Case Studies, International Journal of Qualitative Research in Financial Markets. He regularly conducts training programs for participants from the corporates, governments, and many other domains. Many executives have benefited across the country from his training programs. And today we are very fortunate to have Dr. Rohit Bansal on the topic of fundamentals of research project management.
So thank you very much, Dr. Sadaf, for the brief introduction. And hello, everyone. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you so much for providing me the opportunity and the invitation, Dr. Sarikant and the team. So I believe the screen is visible to everyone.
Dr. Bansal, we are not able to see your video.
Okay. Just a second.
Yes, sir, it is visible now.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I hope the screen is visible, the presentation.
No, so presentation, I think now you can share once again.
Yeah, so can you please record me the right so I can share the screen? I'm not able to share the screen.
Sir, I'll give you permission. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
So can you share now? Dr. Bansal?
Yeah, I'm not able to do that. I mean, I need your help a little bit.
Okay, can you click on share screen at the bottom?
Yeah, just click it. Yeah, perfect.
Can you click on it? Yeah, something is
I hope is it visible now?
not yet, but it's I think it's loading.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see fundamentals of research project management.
Let me try again.
It's showing us, sir. I can see your screen
Yeah,
right now.
sure,
It's showing me as fundamentals of research project management.
Correct. So I hope is it visible to everyone?
Yes, it is, sir.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, so before starting the presentation, we'd like to start from this, I hope this slide would come at later on after ending the presentation, but I thought I should start it from initially. So I believe, and I need a permission from the organizers. So can the forum open for the questions and the discussion from starting? Can we do that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much.
So I would just request if you could check for the video once because your video has gone off.
Okay, let me try. Yeah, so now the forum is open for the questions. So anyone like who have submitted some projects and facing any kind of difficulties, so can you start some questions? I mean, any one of you? Come on, I think we had 150 plus participants from different countries. So you can start few questions. Ask few questions.
Very good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, so this is Dr. Sonia Sharma from Lovely Professional University.
Okay.
Sir, I would like to ask that, right now we all are having a targets to be write on the research proposal. So what are the key points which we have to keep in mind that our project may be granted, or what are the recent topics on which we should focus? So I just want to inquire about the same. Thank you so much.
Perfect. So yeah, anyone else? Topics. Hello.
Recently, I have also submitted one of my project in ICSR. It was my first project, but still under your, guidance, I would like to be update myself that what are the key areas where I can focus so that research maybe get approval from the concerned agency. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Someone has messaged.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself is Dr. Veena Bhavikati.
Okay.
From AMC Engineering College from Bangalore. So my question is that whenever we are applying for any funded project, so the few of my seniors, they suggested me you need to go with a social cause such as CSR, some backward tribal topics. If you are going to take the funded projects are going to get approved from the central government. Is it true, or should we go with some innovative topics?
Yeah, definitely. I'll address the concern. Sure. Yeah.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Sir, I'm Revati from Jain University.
Okay.
Sir, is there any format for preparing the budget?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm too much confused about those
definitely. I'm going to share the format and etc. everything.
Yes, sir. And the methodological aspects too.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Dr. Kiran from Jain University.
Okay.
So, I would also like to know, so when a funder is looking at our applications, what are the key points they want to look at?
Perfect.
So what is it they are looking for? Because we always write the best what we can, but
Sure.
they would have their own set of rules and guides what they will be looking at, what are the key points they look at. If you can shed some light on that, it will be very helpful.
Yeah, definitely. From funders' point of view.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Myself Vijaya Hake from Vishwakarma University. Sir, I would like to ask you the question about what type of project title should be there, or what type of project we have to submit for the minor research project, funded project, because we have sent one project on digital marketing.
Okay.
But still we have not received any confirmation and also can you put some light on this also?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir,
Yeah,
myself, Dr. Rajiv from Kashmir University.
Okay.
Sir, I would like to know what are the different platforms where we can apply for these funded projects, or where we can get the idea of these funded projects.
Yeah,
Okay, sir.
okay, sure. Would like to know about the platforms and the sources where you can submit the project. Okay.
Good
Next.
afternoon, sir. My name is Rekha Mishra, and I'm interested in knowing how to devise a good timeline. How do you come out with a good timeline so that realistic project management can be done for the project?
Perfect. You would like to know about the timeline of the project.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Yeah, next.
Myself, Mohammed Danis from
Good
Mother
morning.
University, Bolivia. And previously, I have submitted a project in the Habitat Trust. In the first round, it got accepted, but in the round of budget, they given a comment. The budget is not proper according to our conditions.
Other constraint you was saying.
Yes.
Gosh.
Thank you.
We'll take care of it. Yeah, next.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Please, sir, more detail about TBI, Technology Business Incubator, in order to create a new marketing strategy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, next. Yeah, Dr. Sadaf, can you read some? I think I've got some messages, but I'm not able to read it out. If you can.
Yeah, sure, sir. I'll read it for you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
There is one question which has been asked where. Just give me a second. So there are actually too many responses in the chat box.
That's okay. If you can forward it to me, that would be a fair. I mean, or if you can read it out, that's okay. I can write it down.
I'll read it for you.
Sure.
So one is that what should be the research methodology and how do we write it effectively?
Okay. Research
methodology. Next one is how do we write an effective and innovative research proposal?
Perfect.
And also, they want some light to be thrown on factors for research paper. Probably that you could just speak towards the end because our topic is funded research projects.
Exactly, I got it.
Yeah.
So this is around, this is about the research paper, so we can talk it about in the ending of the project.
Yeah. That's it, sir.
Okay. So anyone else? Is there any other questions or? Perfect. So I think we have got enough questions. So most of them are from about the topics, selection of the topics, then key points to be considered while submitting the projects. And the key factors must be considered from funder side, the sources of funding projects. Perfect. And a few more about the research methodology and timeline. Okay. So I still have few questions, so I can ask before starting further. So what do you think about when we talked about, research project management, and why do you think is it so important? And any one of you I think the forum is open for the two-way communication and can share your thoughts. Anyone, do you have any idea about the research project management? What do you think? Is it so important? Like,
So through the research projects, actually, we can sort out the problems, and later we can highlight the things to the government also, and for the policy formation. These things are required to, because research is the best way to sort out the problem or to find out the best solution. So that's why research grant proposals are important to conduct.
okay, so second question, I hope you people are agree with this. Have you been involved in the, yeah, Kunj Desai would like to say anything?
Yeah, so what I had to say is, according to me, research project management is very important because whatever topics you want to, research in depth, research in depth, so we can work on that in our way.
I think there is some echo from your side, so can you please? Yeah, Kunj Desai. Okay, so my next question is, have you been involved in research projects before? I know you people had because you raised some concern. So anyone would like to share the experience? Or maybe what were the challenges you faced?
Of course, sir. That's we completed a lot of project. That means submitted a lot of project. Even though the final acceptance, there may be issues related to that.
Okay, so you people are familiar about like the research project and the funding sources. Okay. All right. So I'll start and then I'll take few more questions later on. So just would like to know a few things. Like these are some difficulties which you people have already discussed, like the first is about the title, then about the allocate time. I hope few questions about the budget allocation. That is the reason if you choose some, inappropriate budget, definitely the funder will return to you and may not be considered. So, and definitely I'll concern more part of this on the quality expectation and the assessment requirement, because when you submit the project and when the funders will evaluate the project, so there is some gap. So we have to identify why there is so, because there is an issue of it's called the quality expectations. Understand? And then obviously someone asked the question about the time frame, the start and end date. And scope, that's okay. Scope, like how much are you planning to deliver? So these are some questions I think we'll discuss later on. First we start and I'm trying to deliver your answers. Perfect. Okay. So one thing I would like to share with you, like how do you ensure that your research project align with the goals and the visions and mission of your organization or the institution? That is much important, because I'm working in institutions coming under Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. So I have to align with the institution goals. So are you people, have you ever faced this kind of difficulties while submitting the project? Can you please share your idea? Like sometime you wanted to submit the project, but you couldn't due to some, maybe the recommendation letter from the institution. So maybe it is not aligned with the goals and the mission of your institutions. I mean, any one of you, can you share your experience?
So not in case of the funded grant funds, but in case of Scopus, sometimes Scopus writing journals when we are writing papers and our papers are not fitting as per their, guidelines. So this problem is very common in that cases only. So recently I have not faced any kind of the things with respect to the grant proposal. So, but the thing is same, they are very close to each other, that we are not letting our things as per their norms.
So we talked about the Scopus index channel, that is something different. I
Yes,
just
yes,
like
sir.
to know the experience regarding, like I said, if I'm working
Yes.
in institutions governed by the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas,
Yes,
so
sir.
can I supposed to submit the project related to the social schemes or etc.? That is my question. I mean, have you ever faced this kind of difficulties, like your institutions are having some different goals and mission, and your project team and maybe your funders are having some different kind of themes? So have you ever faced this kind of difficulties?
No, sir.
It's for everyone, like. Okay, no problem. It's okay. So first, like this is the starting the classical project stages, which you can start from some. I'll read it out one by one. If you would like to have the further discussion elaboration, just raise your hand or maybe ask. Okay. So this is a standard template which mostly funders are using. This is based on the various projects which I have submitted. Currently, I am working with the ICCSR, CSIR, some consulting projects with the industries, AONGC, Indian Oil, and I recently received some foreign projects also from the Muscat and the Saudi Arabia. So I'm going to discuss and I'm going to share the templates and I'm going to share the areas which I have submitted, the reviews, and how I'm pursuing these projects. Okay, so currently I'm associated with around 12 projects, funding by the industries, the central government scheme, the foreign fundings. So this is the standard template. So like the most is first to identify the problem, Yeah, someone has raised the, I just missed it out. Can you please again raise your hand or ask the questions? Okay, so starting from this research problem. Yeah, so I couldn't get your name, so it's called iPhone. So better to, you can rename your. Yeah, can you please rename your ID? It's called the iPhone. Okay, so we started from, first we started from the research problem. So now the question arises, how will you identify the problem? That is the most crucial task, Any idea? Any experience?
Sir, it's possible from our literature review. From also we can identify from the time series data. Then these are two options. And the reason reports, we can analyze the reason reports too.
Okay, or I'll just refine my questions. What are the factors do you consider while selecting the research problem? Can you name few factors based on which you identify the research problem?
Few sectors.
Yeah, few factors like maybe you consider while selecting the research problem.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. Venugopal speaking. First of all, feasibility of the availability of the information to pursue the project as it is important, sir. Availability of information and sources of information, in which area it is likely to become comfortably, which is the major cornerstone to collect the data for the research project, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Next.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello. We have to actually do the systematic review method we have to use, and through systematic review method we will get an idea about which are the topics which have not touched by the author. So on the basis of that, then we can formulate the research problem.
Okay, good. Yeah, anyone would like to add few suggestions for your experience? Okay. Yeah, so before starting further, I would like to say a few things like, I hope, can you please explain about the types of projects and types of funding projects or subsets of funding projects as per your experience or as per your knowledge? Because, different funding projects are having the different structure and different expectations from the funders. Can you please name the types of funding projects? I believe I'm clear. Can you please name
ICSSR, sir, in social sciences and commerce and management area also will cover under that one.
Yeah, I understand that ICSSR is quite popular now for the social science researchers. That's okay. Anyone else?
And AICT funded projects also is there.
AICTC. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you
So they have a empowerment type of project, women empowerment project. They also have a digitalization project and some other project also, which are related to government schemes.
Yeah. So you are talking about the ICCR has recently floated one project for the short-term duration.
Yes, sir. Major and minor project. Yes, sir.
Okay. A part of this ICSSR projects, anyone else? Have you ever heard about some other projects?
Sir, of course, sir. So there are a lot of projects that's offered ADB and the GLS project, the August of governments related project. Then Spencer, they offer a lot of projects. Then a lot of international agencies, they call for the different projects.
So have you ever tried to submit some international projects?
Yeah, I submitted, sir.
Okay, and what about? I mean, may I know the topic or themes of the project?
This one is related to the child, and the one it is related to the migration. The next one it is related to the local self-government.
Okay, perfect. Sure. Yeah. So if you're talking about the types of project like which we have discussed, one is from the social science, or we can say offered by the ICSSR, AICTC, UGC, etc. So if you wish, you can note it down. The one is called the government sponsored projects, which we have discussed. Second one is called the consulting projects. So have you ever heard about this term? Is called consulting projects. Consulting projects. Any idea about this consulting projects?
Yes, it is related to bank project, or even we are doing one project that is a QMTI project.
Okay. Anybody else? Consulting projects. It's quite popular nowadays, like a part of this central government funding projects. Any idea about the consulting projects? Okay, so
Sir, actually, we'll try to. There is some work going on in certain companies, and we try to write a project on a similar lines, and they will give us the amount to work on that particular project.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Anybody else? So there are
new startup projects, means company who are starting their business, and for that particular company we can prepare the plan for them. So that project I have done.
Okay. So, and for which organization you have done this project?
This was the small chain, which is a small franchisee project. It is Ganesh Bhel from Pune. So for them, we have done a case study project.
Case study project.
We have developed the case, and through that they have started their franchise.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. Okay. Any idea about the consulting projects? Or the third category of the project is called industry-related projects, or industry-sponsored projects.
Sir, I was hired as a consultant on a project by Delhi Skills and Entrepreneurship University. I was an academic consultant, and I worked with another organization, Boston Consulting Group, to review and redesign the curriculum. So I was hired as an academic consultant.
I think I missed your question, but there is some echo from your side, like in background. Yeah. So next is industry sponsored projects. Any one of you who have submitted some project to the industry or maybe are interested to submit some project to the industry? I mean, just would like to share the ideas and some experience. So broadly, I have divided the categories of project into like social schemes or government funding projects, consulting projects, industry sponsored project, and international agencies. Okay, I'll discuss one by one. So before that, I would like to know, anybody have any experience who have submitted any kind of project to the industry? Because nowadays industry is spending lots of money to R&D, offering multiple projects. In the coming slide, I'm going to share, like someone asked this question, like what kind of projects we can submit it, like project title, project team. So I'm going to share 50 plus project titles, which you don't believe and which have been already submitted, already working. Industry has sponsored lots of money for them. So I'm going to share like few titles, few projects, working projects, completed projects also, and the various sources where you can submit your projects. Okay. Any idea about the industry sponsored projects? Okay, so what do you think? What project can be submitted to the industry? Any idea? Come on, guys, it's an open forum. You can share.
Hello?
Hello?
Earlier, Indian Airlines and Air India got merged. They have given the working procedure to the Dharmadhikari committee, sir.
Okay.
For doing to submit a project report after analyzing the existing practices before merger, sir. They have taken that project work, sir.
So what was it funded?
Indian Airlines as well as Air India before merger, they have given the project to some Indian Institute of Management professors and other teams, sir. This is known as Dharmadhikari team.
Okay. Yeah.
Anybody industry
else?
related only.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else who have submitted any industry sponsored projects, or maybe in planning, or maybe in working, or any idea like how we can submit it or anything?
So we can also have business process re-engineering and business process management, projects, which would advise the industry how they can go about or, redesign their processes, bring in automation, those kind of projects.
So are you planning to submit this project related to automation or?
Yes, sir. I'm thinking in that direction, so that way I would be able to deliver my expertise.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Best wishes. Yeah. So actually, like when we're talking about the types of project, the reason is that when you submitted your project to some government related scheme, the format, the expectations, are different. While you submitting your project for the consulting head or maybe for the industry sponsored, so the expectation, the format, everything will be different, So any one of you, can you please differentiate the nature of the project and the differentiate between the industry sponsored consulting projects or the project which we are going to submit in ICSSR, UGC, ICTC, whatever the government sponsored agencies? Any idea? Because that is very crucial, because I cannot submit it one social scheme project to the industry. Say if I'm planning to do some kind of research on, say, Ayushman Bharat, but I cannot submit it this project to the industry because that is inappropriate or irrelevant to the industry. I hope you understand that. Or I cannot submit it this project to some consulting firm for the consulting. You understand? So first thing is that you have to make a break or filter out, like first, to whom, to where are you going to submit your project? So can you please differentiate between these 2 and 3 terms: consulting, industry sponsored, and the academic projects? Just share your experience and idea, anything. It's an open forum. No worries. We don't know each other, so you can share your ideas, your experience. Okay, so I'm going to share some template which we have used for academic projects, industry, and the sponsor. I'll just finish the remaining topics. So first you decide the research problem, and prepare some objectives and maybe objectives of the questions. Any one of these you can use it. Then next, the significant importance of literature review. So like I said, if you're using and if you're planning to submit your project for the academic purpose, definitely your literature review must be strengthened. You know, it must be a detailed one, starting from one more suggestion from my side is that try to add latest study into the literature review. Okay, like being a reviewer, I have received so many projects for the reviews, but when I have gone through the review part, most of them have added the old literatures. Per se, they have added the citations around 1980s, 1990s, maybe before 2000 year. So one of the suggestion is that please add the recent citation in this part. And if you are submitting your project to the academic purpose, try to add and try to make it as a detailed one. You understand? But on the other side, the vice versa, if you are submitting your project to industry sponsored and the what we call it consulting, there is no need to add the literature review. They are not interested. I'm going to share a few template and few projects which I have received from industry from as a consulting project. So you may please see the difference between these templates. I hope is it understand. For academic purpose, you must add the detailed literature review. Also, you have to find out and you also prepare one half-page or one paragraph. It's called the research gap. Okay. You have to identify the gap based on the literature reviewed, and please make it a detailed one for the academic projects, because they will be more emphasized on the review part and the gap, research gap, which you have identified based on the literature. And please do not write few things. If you wish, you can write down. Please do not write few things under the research gap, which is normally people does, like do not write the previous one have used SPSS, but I'm using the smart PLS. That is not the gap, you know. Most of them are using the same thing, like in the previous research, although they are using the same title, but my research is different because I'm using the smart PLS instead of using the SPSS. Or maybe the sample size, they have used 200, I'm using 300 or maybe 400. You understand? That please do not write these kind of things under research gap. And do not write they have used regression analysis, I'm using the SCM and factor analysis. I hope the people who are doing some primary related work can easily understand this kind of work, say PLS, SPSS, and the factor analysis, the structure equation modeling. Understand? Please do write some research related gap. I hope it's clear. Do not write this kind of thing like the sample size, the methodology, and techniques. These are not the part. Please do not write. Okay. Then the next is appropriate research methods. I'll explain in the detailed slide. These are just the overview and you can see the contents. So research method means, like, again, we have the 3 and 4 kind of research methods, like which we can use the different methods for the primary research, for the secondary research, time series, cross-sectionals. Okay. So we have to use appropriate research methodology. I cannot say that like I'm using the stationarity of the data or unit root test for the primary research. I hope you understand that unit root test. So I cannot write under my appropriate research method. First is I'm going to use some primary data, but the next point, I'm going to use unit root test, normality of data, JARC beta test. That is not appropriate methodology. I hope you understand that. Same thing is for the time series of data and the cross-sectional data. I hope it's clear. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So these are the general observation, you know, which are based on my experience and based on some projects. So accordingly, you have to design your methodology. That is very important part. Let it be to the academic project, let it be for the industry project and the consulting project. Everyone emphasized only these part, or you can say the more weightage will be given to this part only, like the research methodology. So my suggestion is to that make a strong research methodology, starting from first you have to identify whether your research belongs to the primary data, primary research, secondary research, time series, or the cross-sectional. Accordingly, you have to decide your research. So if I'll take one example of the primary research, I'm just going to share one of my project which I have submitted and received after this slide. Then after the method, appropriate research method, you have to design your research tools, like, and there must be some steps, you have to follow the steps. Like if you pick some primary research, like my objective is to conducting one impact assessment of Pradhan Mantri Jan Yojana into my district. Understand? So when I design my research tool, I have first started, that would be a primary research, non-probability sampling design, then entire methodology is based on the survey. We have to given some tentative and appropriate sample size. Please do mention it. Most of the time the people missed and they are in the dilemma, like how much sample size should I mention, but don't. So my suggestion is that if you are going to apply some minor project, it should be below 300, 400 would be enough, fair enough. And if it is for the major project, then it should be around 2000 plus sample survey. Yes. Any question from your side?
Sir, your sample size is more than 500. The
Minor, I
final
said it
result
should be
already
around,
will be-
for the minor project, like it would be below 500 or 300 to 400 is a good enough. And for the major, it would be around 2000 plus, 1500 to 2000 at least. Then after this, you have to much conscious about the questionnaire, because again, there are certain types of, methods. So any one of you can share some ideas about the questionnaire. How will you select it, and on the what factors we're going to finalize your questionnaire? Anything from your side? Anybody else? Like how to prepare the questionnaire? Simple. Because
First of all, objectives should be clearly defined, sir. Hello?
yeah.
First of
Depends
all,
on
objectives of the study
depends
should be
on
clearly
what
defined.
factors. I'm asking, like, if you select the primary research, so definitely you have to prepare some questionnaire. That is a separate thing, whether it would be done through interview, maybe some online, offline, etc. I'll discuss later on. My question is that how will you select the questionnaire? On what parameters, on what factors you're going to select the questionnaire?
Sir, it should align with our objectives.
Okay. Okay, so I'll give you one example. Like if you would like to, I'm offering one project, like do some kind of research on the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. Might be aware about this. So how will you prepare the questionnaire related to this scheme? The title is impact assessment, impact assessment of this scheme.
So we can look up to structured questionnaires which are already been prepared, and as per those guidelines, we can fit in and we can make changes.
Yeah, so my asking, I think you got the point. So my question is that whether are you going to adopt the existing questionnaire, which you said, I think, or are you preparing, or are you going to add some new construct into your existing questionnaire? I hope you understand the difference. So one set is that when you going to adopt the existing questionnaire, like I said, my objective is to do some assessment, impact assessment of the Ujjwala scheme. So I'm going to adopt any existing scale, but please be careful. Before adopting any scale, you have to identify the theory, some models, okay? And you have to show some mapping, clubbing between this theory. I'll give you one example. Suppose if I'm going to do some survey on this, so I adopted one model is called, say, there are already existing model. You people are aware about this, called the TAM, then TBP, UTAT theories, service models are already there. But is it okay? What do you think? What do you think? Is it okay to adopt the existing scale, the entire scales? Any response about this? One scale is already there, say UTAE, UT model 2. So is it okay then I can adopt it the entire scale and go for the data collection? That's it. What do you
Likert
think about
5-point scale is also suitable, sir.
Sorry?
Likert 5-point scale is also suitable only, no?
No, that is a
Likert
separate thing. That is a separate thing. I'm not coming to this right now. The Likert scale, I'll come to this. My first question is before Likert is selecting the scale is that what are you going to use? Like one of the participants said, I'm going to adopt the scale for the existing literature. It's perfect. If I'm going to identify, like there is some topic is called adoptions of green hydrogen vehicles in India. Okay, I just wanted to know the adoption of fuel cell vehicle in India. Okay, so the easy task is that I can go through some existing scale and I adopted it. Okay, and then float for the data collection. What do you think? Should we adopt the existing scale or should we try to add some new construct into my existing scale or any other suggestion?
We can go for extended scale.
Okay.
I think we should need to do a pilot study first with the existing scale, and then see how much it is faring as per our requirement, and then accordingly make modification in terms of addition or deletion of the constructs, and then perhaps we'll be able to get the required scale for our study.
Yeah, so one technical one she has used is called pilot test, or sometimes we call it pre-test. You know, as of now, most of the funders are looking for the pilot test or pilot study. Okay, so if it is, the chance will be increased if you can submit some pilot study or maybe some pre-test results, okay, before the finalization. Like said, suppose if I adopted one scale, I say my objective is to adoption of hydrogen fuel cell vehicle in India. So I got some adopted scale for related to adoptions toward the consumer intention. Okay, adoptions, consumer intention would be my DV. And then I took some latent variable is called the perceived benefits, perceived risks, perceived barriers, and the policy implications, environmental concern. And if you would like to have some complex model, you can add some moderating variables. It's up to you. But then I prepared the first thing is called, the technical word is called the research framework. Okay, which I wanted to know from your side of after the literature review, please prepare some research framework. Okay, in that you can create your construct and create your models and also mention the hypothesis, like which one is latent variable, the hypothesis between the variables, or if you would like to add, you can add some mediating and moderating variable. So please do write, prepare a research framework. I hope you understand the research framework. So the inputs for the research framework is that you can add all of the latent variables, demographic variables, psychometric variables, dependent variables, and also make their relation, maybe the direct indirect relation. I'm just coming to that in the coming slide. Like, okay, so that is a proper format, So the reason is that behind. So what are the reasons? Why do we need to create the research framework? Any idea? Research framework.
So it helps us to limit the scope and the metrics within which we'll be working, because it is not possible. Every research has a constraint. So we are before starting only we are defining as to what is that we are covering within what framework, what would be covered, what will not be covered, what is we are assuming. So it's like giving a proper defining or giving a structure to our research process.
No, I'm just asking the research framework you just mentioned about, like if you're going for some primary research, you just mentioned about the latent variables, some demographics, psychometric, and the dependent variables, and also mention some roots, like what's your objective to make the maybe direct relation, indirect relation. I hope you understand this terms. So that will definitely create some kind of possibility and would be understanding to the funders.
So this will help to know the impact of the independent variables on the dependent variables, and this would also help us to analyze what we are going to bring on the plate. What we are, yes, sir.
Sure, and that is also applicable for the secondary kind of research. I'm going to share few templates, okay? So no worry about that. That only applicable for the primary set of research. You can also apply this framework for the secondary research. And the second thing is we are not thinking about myself. I maybe understand, but it's for the funder side. So there are some review committees, okay? So, and hardly they have say, so frankly, I'm speaking to this. If you submitted your project, the ICSSR, they are getting around, this time they have received 3,000 plus of projects. So hardly they have 2 and 3 minutes. So if you put some kind of, diagram, if you put some kind of research framework, easily the committee, the technical member of that particular committee easily understand about that, like, okay, this is a model. So your objective is to adoption of the hydrogen fuel cell vehicle for the consumers in India. Perfect, go ahead. I hope you understand that. So in the research framework, I'm going to share one of the research framework. Also you can mention about the latents and mediating, moderating, demographic, psychometric, etc. Everything in a single diagram. So that can also put some kind of impact, Then like you said, is perfect. Definitely you should go for the pre-testing and the pilot testing. And in that you can have some expert opinion. So in the expert opinion, you can add some industry people, you can add some professors, academic persons, some scholars, so mix, you can collect the data. Okay. So my next question is, how will you find out and how will you identify the numbers which is best suited for the pilot study? Any idea? Is there any criteria for the pilot test study? Maybe like the people, so this is very ambiguity. Like someone said, sir, is it okay while I'm going to take 10 samples, or is it okay when I'm going to take the 15 or 20 samples? So any idea about this? How will you select the pre-test samples or pilot test samples for your data collection? And that is very crucial stage, after the pilot test or pre-test, you can modify, you can amendment into your existing model.
30, minimum 30.
So the best thing is that, like, based on the literature, and you can also refer some higher and fair the books. So they said 10% of your final samples, at least. That is a minimum threshold limit. It's called the 10%. If suppose my sample size is 200, so around 20 would be a good enough for conducting the pilot test. So the 10% is a threshold limit, and that is also supported and backed by some literatures. Clear? And you people have understand that if what have to done after pre-test, if your result is not satisfactory and not as per your research objective and questions, so you can amendment and this stays only. Okay. Then if it is suits and if it is okay, it is backed with your hypothesis, you can go ahead with your final samples, say your data collection. Also, you can mention while submitting the reports. So these are the parts of the pre-submission, it's the proposal side. If you can talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 points are your proposal, are the part of a proposal. Okay. And the last 6 part are your final report writing. Clear? So pre-proposal, you've just mentioned till there. And after that, you will add few points like outcomes of the projects. That would be good. Like what would be the outcomes of your projects? You can write down few things about the outcomes of your projects and how does it beneficial to the society, to the government, to the industry, to the policymakers. So half page, if you could write, would be a good and can lead to a better impression. Okay. Then after this report writing, you can write something like compare and contrast the data finding with your literature. Like suppose if I started this project, it's got adoptions, but my finding is something different. So, but I cannot write that my result is different. I have to back my result with some existing findings. Okay. Maybe it is favorable or unfavorable, but I have to give some supporting literatures. And definitely while writing the conclusion, you have to mention your questions, objectives, and the plan in a detailed manner. Okay. Please do not, because there are some linkages. Okay. You have to mention in the conclusion, like my objective is that there is a positive relation between environmental concern and adoption of hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. That is a common sense. If we use the hydrogen fuel cell vehicle, so definitely that would reduce the carbon emissions, the benefit to the environment, even that would help we call the human health. So, but first I have to prepare the hypothesis. There is a positive relation between these two. Then I have to back the result based on the structure equation modeling, and I have to also mention this point into evaluation suggested by some existing literature. Okay. Perfect. So these are some detailed, the steps which you people can use. Like we already discussed about the research objective, articulate the goals and objective, then what you are trying to achieve. So I'm just going to share one project. I hope, is it visible, the PDF file?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, like I said, there are some limitations because,
No, sir, the PDF file is not visible. We still see your slide only.
Okay. Just let me share the screen. So I hope, is it visible now?
Not yet, sir.
Not
No,
yet.
sir, no.
No, sir, not visible.
Stop
No,
the
sir.
screen share and then you can start
Yeah, I
again.
got it.
Yeah, also your video has gone off.
I don't know.
Yeah, now it's visible, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Technically,
It is
I need
very
to
clear, sir.
disable and disable again and again. And sorry for this inconvenience. Yeah, so, this is some project which I have submitted. Like I said, I'm working under the Ministry of Petroleum, so I have to align with the objectives and vision for my institute and my requirement also. So I hope you are aware about this ESG. That is the latest and very, renowned keywords into the town, the ESG, environmental, social, and governance. So this is the industry sponsored project. And recently I've received this project from some company, okay, PSU companies. So the reason is that, like the title, ESG impact on the performance of the Indian energy sectors, because that is for the industry and for the sector. So I cannot write the name of a particular company. If suppose that would be a company sponsored, so I can write down the ESG impact on the performance of any XYZ company. Clear? Then the idea of the study, why there is a need, what are the, okay. Then we write some introduction. Like I said, I just minimize the review part into this and try to add the.
359.
Sorry. Can you please mute your mic? Okay, so like I discussed about the review part, please add the recent review or recent literature into this part. That is very much important. Please note it down if you wish. Like, do not add the literature which is quite old, like someone referred 1917, 80s or 90s in the review part. Please do not add this kind of literatures. So this is about the review part. And the next slide, I'm going to share some academic project which I have submitted, and you won't believe that I have added around 8 to 10 pages about the review literature, because as far as the academic concerned, they are more emphasized on this part. But if you're talking about the industry, like I said, they are most emphasized on this research methodology. So my objective for this industry sponsored project The reason is that like how to identify the problem and the objective is that I've gone through some articles, some news that European Union are going to implement the ESG for all the companies. Basically, they are just going to put some rating for all the companies, all the listed companies in the UK territory. I hope you understand the ratings. Like we have some IPO ratings, we have some debt ratings, maybe A plus, A, B minus, B plus. You understand? Same kind of rating mechanism they are going to adopt for the companies listed in the UK stock exchanges. And they call it the ESG. And the reason behind that, they just would like to know about how the company is dealing with these three factors. It's called environmental, the social, and the governance. You understand? So I thought the same thing I can apply, or maybe we can do the same kind of mechanism for the Indian industries. So like I said, are under the oil and gas sector. So I thought I should find out the energy companies and should try to create some rating for individual companies. Clear? So based on which I will prepare some metrics. I just put down, first I identify the factors which represents ESG. And based on these factors, I put some monetary values. Okay, I'll make it some normalization. And then finally, there is some rating for each of the companies. Clear? Then how to measure this ESG, please well defined. The variables which I've chosen, it is again the well defined, like why and how does it relevant, like I'm putting this 10 ratings for the company starting from A plus and the minus is to D. Okay. And the score which we are going to calculate can again divide it. The score is 300, 200, 500. So these are the variables. Then the measures of financial constraint. I've already added some control variables, the equations, the model fitting. These are the models which I'm going to use in this study. This is purely the secondary based data. Understand? So like I said, and robustness, how to verify these results, and timeline that was for 12 months. The costing around this, the outcomes which I'm just talking about, the references. So these are the very limited and very sophisticated format which the industry are using. I'm going to share a few more projects which we have submitted and working with for the industry. So the main thing is that to identify the theme, the research problem is a very crucial. That's why I'm saying you have to keep studying, and please collect some latest one. It should be some latest one. If I'm going to submit one project, say the impact of GST on the Indian energy sector. So are they going to accept this project? Any one of you? Suppose I thought I would like to check the impact of GST GST. So any idea? Are they going to grant me some fund for doing this kind of research, say the impact of GST on the performer, or maybe the impact of GST for some particular industry?
Sir, maybe not exactly.
The reason? I just wanted to know the reason.
It's not something new or innovative, which
Exactly. That is the point. The idea must be some idea should be some, based on some innovation, some latest stream buzzwords. So just quickly, I just read it out. I got the message and it's running out of time. So this is how we can create some project for the industry, and they are more emphasized on the methodology, the equations, the fundamentals, and the outcome. That's it. Okay. Then, like someone said, is budgeting. So I understand. I'm going to share few ideas like how to create the budget. Before that, are you people are aware about these terms which I've just mentioned in the second line? 3.2.3 is GFR, GFR, GFR. Any idea? And why there is a reason for mentioning GFR in this slide? Just share your idea. First thing is, are you aware about the GFR? I hope you are with me. Are you with me?
Yes, sir, but
Yes,
not
sir.
having
No
idea
idea.
about this.
No
Yes,
idea.
sir, not aware, sir.
Okay,
No idea, sir.
perfect. So this is
Sir, yeah, maybe something about financial rules which keep on amend with new introduction of new financial policies and something.
yeah, perfect. Yes, you're right. So these are some rules which you have to follow while you are considering, while you are taking any project, let it be for the consulting, industry and the as far as the government. So it is mandatory. If you referred some ICSSR guidelines, UDC guidelines, ICTC guidelines, it is clearly mentioned you have to follow the General Financial Rule, GFR 2017. Okay. And the reason is that I'll just take you one example. The reason is that suppose this one. So these are certain rules. And the reason is that, and this is very much important while you are preparing your budget, because the reason is that, like I'll tell you, they have mentioned rule number 210. The custody of the goods and material, or maybe 209 receipt and issue of goods and material. So the reason why applying the GFR, now industry is also following the same. Like if I'm preparing a budget, I said I need a 5 lakh rupees. No, first it should be in a breakup, a justify and an appropriate this budgeting format. And also you have to mention now there is a mandatory I will follow, because they have already mentioned into their guidelines and they have already accepted my called declaration. I am going to purchase everything. Even I'm going to spend every single penny as far as and based on the GFR policies. So please, you have to go through the GFR policy. The reason is that suppose if I have prepared the budget, just take this example, this one. This is my budget. You will be, surprised, like if I would like to buy some computer and laptop and I should have mentioned, say 1 lakh rupees for this. Will it be granted and will it be permissible? What do you think? I should have it's called 1 lakh rupees for purchasing desktop, purchasing printer, color printer, or some decent laptop is called Core i7, 32 GB hard disk, 60-inch, or some Apple iPhone, or maybe some Apple MacBook. Will it be permissible, or is it appropriate to write these kind of items into the projects? Any one of you, just
No,
Not really, sir.
yeah. Or if you would like to add, definitely you can add, but for that you have to follow this GFR guidelines. It means I just brief out what exactly this is. This is basically divided into 3 categories. If you would like to have some 25 up to the 25,000 of items, you need the 3 quotation, 3 vendors. Above any item which is 25,000, you have to prefer the gem. I hope you understand the word is called gem. Have you ever heard about this term? Gem.
No, sir.
Okay, you
Yes.
can. Yeah, perfect. So basically that is it's just like a commercial platform like a Flipkart and Amazon for the domestic purpose. So everything which you are going to buy, any component from your project, first you refer the GFR guidelines, and second you have to buy it from the GEM. There is no other alternative. You understand? So before preparing the budget, you have to go through the guidelines which I've already mentioned. That is related to the project scheme is called GFR 209, 210, 211, and 212. Perfect. And then next is prepare a project team. This is very much essential. Project team. Anyone have any idea about how to select the project team and who are the partners, who are the team members which can constitutions a project team? Any idea? Okay, so just a second. This is one of the project which I have recently received from ICSSR. Okay. So just I'll start from the project title. The title was this. Then abstract, introduction of the proposed study. So I'll just mention some about the schemes in detail, like what are the various services is offered by them. I hope is it visible, this word
Hello,
document?
beta.
Hello,
Hello?
is it visible?
Yes, Professor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. So just please do mention it. If you are referring any scheme, please write down in the detailed one. Forget about the pages. There is no criteria of the minimum maximum word as far as the academic projects are concerned. Okay, so just mention what are the schemes offered, who will be the eligible, and eligibility criteria for the people. Understand then benefits of this scheme, Ayushman Bharat. What are the various disease covered under this scheme, people, Ayushman, the template of the card. Then, like I said, you have to also cite some recent and reviewed work. Clear? Then, like I mentioned, it is identification of research gap. That is one of the crucial which you have to mention it. This one. And like I said, most of the time I have seen the people written like the sample size, the techniques. Please do not write them. This is purely based on the research gap. Like proposed methodology, which I am going to use. So that would be a descriptive study. I'm using the cross-sectional survey. Okay. Then the district research design, sample design. Also, you should mention I'm going to use the Likert scale of the 5 points. I strongly agree to this one. Also mention some kind of review or some kind of, references while you're using anything. So innovations aspect of the proposed research, why it's called the path breaking of the innovations. Expected outcome, maybe in the form of journal publication, maybe in the form of news article. Okay. Then the relevance, like I mentioned, the relevance of the study for the government, policymaker, for the society. Please do mention. Society, I just mentioned. Now the part of this is called timeline. So because of the limitations they have, this is only for the short-term projects. They have mentioned it for the 6 months. It's a collaborative project, including few of my colleagues, but I have not mentioned because of the confidentiality. Okay, this is the major. So, but again, yeah, okay. So I think am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the time frame which you have to submit it. So I'm going to share a few templates. This is for the 6 months. Within a 6 months, you have to compile the entire work. So this one. First, I just designing the questionnaire in a 1 month. 1 month, it's for the preparing to testing, like I said, this one. Then compiling the data, analysis the data, and writing the report. So I'm going to share a few templates, vary from 6 months to 36 months. Recently, we have received one project for 36 months from the industry. So this is for the short-term project. If you are going to submit the project, these are the certain steps. Or in few cases, you can increase the data. Suppose it's the same kind of project and they said the time duration is 12 months. So you can just write down this questionnaire designing is 2 months, administrative is 4 months. So, but these are some minimum and the necessary steps which you can consider while preparing the timeline. And the details of the collaboration also you can mention if you would like to add few other collaborator into your project, maybe from the industry side, maybe from the academia, anyone. And this is how you can break and you can mention the budget. So like in the initially we have received few query about the budget. So can you please tell me why I have not mentioned anything under research associate? Any idea? Why there is blank? Why there is 0? Any idea?
already you are there, sir, so that you are not doing this.
Sorry. My question was why I have not mentioned the research associate into my this project.
So you more prefer to data collection within 1 month? We need to complete the data collection within 1 month.
Yeah, because that is because the project was for 6 months. If I have not submitted this kind of time delay, maybe I was not shortlisted. You understand? Because that's why I'm saying I have to link, I have to mapping my objective with the funders. This is the requisition from the funder side. You have to complete the project within the short span of time, say 6 months. Accordingly, I have to frame my time frame. Okay. I can't say I spent 3 months for data collection or 1 month for analysis, or maybe. Second thing is, like, someone messaged me about the budget query, and my next question is why I have not mentioned any research associate. The reason is that this one. I hope, is it visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible now.
Yeah, so please do take care of this part while preparing your budget. That should not be exceed. Like, first you go through the guidelines. Like this said, research staff, they have mentioned the categories called the research associate at 40,000, assistant 32,000, field investigator at 30,000. But they have mentioned not exceed 40% of your total budget. Accordingly, you have to prepare your budget. Please take care of the funders requirement. It's not about me and my team. It's about the funders who are going to funding the project. We have to take care of everything, eligibility, the funding requirement, then it should be not exceed the 40%. Then field work, logistic, boarding, survey, it's not exceeding 30%. Then the workshop, there is now, it's become a mandatory for every project. You have to complete the project. After the completing the project, you have to you start some workshop, some seminar, and you have to discuss about your outcomes of the projects. Okay. Then, like I said, the equipment, the study material, computer, printer, not exceed 10%, and you have to follow the GFR guidelines, GFR 209, 210, everything. So if I put, suppose 2 lakh rupees over there, and I said I would like to buy the computer, but that is not possible with a short span of time, because if you refer the GFR, if you refer the JAM, that would at least create 3 to 4 months to buy any single material. So the budget should be prepared based on the GFR guidelines, based on the values that is already mentioned. And the reason why I said I couldn't add the research associate is that please refer the qualification. If I'm going to advertisement, this research associate at 40%, 40,000, no one is going to interest. The reason is that the qualification is postgraduate in any social discipline with the minimum 55%, and it should be NET, SLATE, MPhil, and PhD. Do you think these are the certain problems, which we are facing while submitting the projects or the budget? Whether I should create some column for the research associate or maybe some research assistant, and for the how much time. Maybe I required this for 5 months, but again I have to take care of the values that not exceed 40% of the total budget. I hope it's clear. And the second thing is the demands and the supply. There is a demand of research associate, but I don't know where there is a supply of the PhD holders and who are interested to do the work at the 40,000 for 6 months, the shortest span of time. So, sorry, you have to take care of all these essential things while you're preparing the budgets. Any doubt? Any question from the budget side?
Sir, there is one question.
Yeah.
Actually, sir, this one my confusion. Your data collection period is that's only 1 month, and how can
I
sir
got
it's
your point.
how can it's possible to complete these 2 states within?
That's why I told you once. Let me to again. Like I said, the reason is that my data collection I've already mentioned is 200. My sample size is only 200. Okay.
Yes, sir. If in these cases the ICSR last in the collaborative project they demand of 3,000 up to the 3,000, then how can it's possible within this short span of time?
No, I said this is two projects I have received. This is only for the short-term project for the individual, which I'm discussing. In the next profile, I'm going to share the collaborative projects, in which you have mentioned the correct, but I have changed the time frame in that slide. This is only for the individual projects. And the target sample was 200 and entire sample is going to collect through online Google form. I hope you understand.
Yeah, yes, sir, sure, sir.
This is for the Google form. So I'm going to collect the data sample through online Google form. So I think that is easily and quite accessible to collect the data within a 1 month of time.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
I hope there is some issues. Yeah. So perfect. Then please mention, you have to mention some kind of guidelines. This is applicable for the consulting and the industry project. You should maintain the integrity, security, and the privacy compliances nowadays, and your data, and if suppose you are going to collect some data, so some ethical guidelines and some consent should be there. Necessary approval, it should be include some obtaining the necessary approval. Please take care of these things. And next thing is that please affix your questionnaire while you're submitting the projects. Many times, researchers just mention it, I'm going to use this model, say TAM, maybe TPB and other model, but they haven't affixed the questionnaire. Please just write down, please affix your questionnaire. Like, this is my model, this is my research framework, and I'm also attaching my questionnaire along with this file. I just would like to add this file. I have already affixed my questionnaire in the end of the references as appendix. Okay, and this is clearly mentioned about the compliances, the ethical guidelines, the consent from the respondent. So please take care of this thing, the 7 or 8 one. Then communication and the quality control, you can easily understand that. Documentations, like I said, if you're going to purchase something, please do prepare a file, attach all the documents starting from submission of project till end of the reports. Only then you are able to, release your file, and you have to submit some utilization certificate for that. And the last one is, say, the closure. Like I mentioned, you have to conduct some kind of seminar, the workshop based on your outcome. Clear? This is the project which we have discussed about. This is the consulting project which I have submitted into Saudi Arabia. Sorry. Yeah. So this was the hydrogen fuel cell adoption in Arabia. So like I said, your project must be some based on the innovation, some of the latest theme, and their criteria is something different. Like they just wanted to have some objectives, some area of the studies, So this is what we are discussing about the research framework. So I've just mentioned these research framework. I've already included the hypothesis, which is not there due to some reason. So this is what I have discussed. Please do mention. So this is, clearly understand what we are going to use. The sources of data, the project duration, like you mentioned. So in which we have mentioned the 3 months of time. Problem. Yeah. Recently, you people can, if you wish, you can do some, this is very buzzword, it's called adoption of sustainable development goal, SDG. The UN Charter has recently initiated some sustainable development goal. So if you wish, you can prepare some project in the line of the SDG, sustainable development goal, and definitely you people can get something from, maybe you can submit it to the industry, some consulting projects for and maybe for the academy or some government related agencies. Okay. So like this, in this, we have used this model. So I've already mentioned power, achievement, this. Okay. So I think just going to use few more. I think that's okay. So these are some research projects related to the industries called scientific market research. Recently, we have submitted this project to the industry. So I just wanted to know, please do not overthink about like whether my project is right and whether it is meets the, the visions and mission. Do not think about that. Just find some theme, prepare something and then submit it. So recently the one industry has approached to prepare this kind of project because, currently the EV, electric vehicle, is going to adopt, and recently it was in news that the entire portfolio of the vehicle goes up to 30% by 2030, and ICE engine would be shut down by the most of the companies. So now the few companies wanted to know how to select and what are the attributes and how to identify the consumer behavior regarding the EV adoptions. Okay, so this is for the industry. So like I said, they mostly preferred on the methodology part, the criteria. Understand this one. So if you are submitting the project, first you can prepare your template accordingly, like if it is academic, industry, and the sponsored projects. Yeah, Dr. Sadaf, how much time is left?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how much time do we have? Like,
So we have 15 minutes.
okay,
And
perfect.
also,
Thank you.
There was one question which was asked. I'll just share that with you. Some of the participants also wanted to know the international funding agencies for academic grants.
Okay, sure. I'll just finish it. Perfect. Thank you. So this is one of the project which is industry specific and very, decarbonization. And with this space a reference to the oil and gas sector. And yeah, I got a question. So in the coming slide, I'm going to discuss few things like the titles which may be submitted and what are the various funding agencies available in India as well as in international. Okay. Perfect. So like you said, energy transition is also a good theme which people think about, like this one, this study on implications of energy transition on employment. So now in this project, we linked these two things, energy transition, how the energy has been transformed from ICE, combustion engines, traditional engines, or how it is reformed to the renewable energy, solar, wind, green hydrogen, etc. And how does it helpful to create the employment? Okay, so these are certain themes and titles which you people can consider in the line of that. Also, you can consider the education research project. This one that has been submitted to UK. Assessment of the quality assurance in the e-learning and e-training practices to student, and in which we have included some online platform. It's called Moodle. I hope you people are aware about that. LMS, which we have talked about, the learning management system. Okay, this is how it works. So this has been submitted to the UK, and I think that's enough. So I'm going to share a few funding sources. Any question so far? Any doubt? Any question? A part of the sources of the funding? Anything?
Some of the participants are also asking if they can get some draft or reference projects, and some are asking for templates as well. So is there anything that you can share or they can refer online?
Yeah, so I can do one thing, like I can share few of the template which relate to the academic, sponsored, and the industry. After this presentation, I'm going to share with Dr. Sadaf. I think that's fair enough.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I will email you, don't worry.
Okay.
So don't worry about the template. I'm definitely going to share it with you. But please focus on some, latest theme, latest.
So for timing this.
Yeah, just a second. Yeah, thank you. So like I mentioned, there are some sources of research project offered by the industry. Okay, so there are some sources which you can find out for the industry sponsored project. Is called, one of the most thing is the Research and Innovation Hub. Recently I have received and I have through some Research and Innovation Hub offered by the industry, and they have clearly mentioned on the websites, and there is one platform. I'm going to share the details. So first thing is you have to identify the industry. Like before submitting your project to the industry, first you identify the industry. Like if you are related to the pharma, because I don't know about the audience background, so I've included all the industries and they're supporting where you can submit your projects. Like I said, recently we have received inquiry about the EV technology which Ola and the other companies going to implement. So the pharma industry, first you identify the industry like oil and gas. So these are some industries sponsored which you can identify. IT industry, consumer electronics. The Mahindra has recently offered some project in the public domain, say would like to conduct some research on AI for the e-commerce platform. If you belongs to the marketing or some IT side, so you can refer this particular thing, like how to use the AI, robotics, and how does it mapping with the e-commerce platform. And then some biotechnology, so you can refer the CRISPR. Perfect. Okay. So these are some, projects that can be linked for the government of India. So if you wish, you can go through. These are the certain 31 schemes offered by the government of India. You can pick any of the schemes. Then you can think about it. What kind of research you would like to know? Like you would like to check would like to go for the assessment of these schemes. You would like to check how does schemes is helpful to increase the standard of living. Or if you wish, there are multiple, ways to doing the research and to submitting the project. If you would like to refer any scheme. So there are 31 schemes offered by the government of India. Clear? Digital India, these are the schemes you can go through. Then I just share a few examples, a few project that is currently open, offered by the oil and gas sector. First one is KN Oil India, then ONGC. So yeah, my one more question is that suppose I just met with the ONGC people, they said we would like to start some work, and they offered me one theme is called the techno-economic viability of some area, So any idea about this, how we can start this project? Any idea? The theme was techno-economic viability. Or we can say that techno-commercial viability. The reason is that because the ONGC is actively engaged in some exploration projects in the KG Basin. I hope you understand that they are dealing in some, reserve oil technologies, some infrastructure development, and they are more conscious about about the economic technical viability of the project. So same thing is offered by the other companies, it's called ONGC, Oil India Limited. It's GAIL is also offered some kind of project related to the pipeline integrity, safety, optimizations of the transportation, So if you wish, you can refer. Like this one, I just talking about technological and economic feasibility study. These are certain areas which I've identified. If you wish, you can submit some project related to this schemes to the industry, ESG rating, net zero strategy, how the industry get to the decarbonization. This is called the hydrogen fuel cell. That is very much, very proposed scheme by the ministries. Even you can prepare some case studies for the industry. These are the how to start. So first you can go through some, these are some sites, national funding agencies, NSF. Yeah, so this is for the industry international, where I have submitted my project is called a European Commission CORDIS database. If you type this keyword, is called the CORDIS database, that includes 10, 11 countries coming under European Union, you understand, like Germany, Spain, France, and that is offered by some, and the funding by some EU. Also, you can refer some online research platform is called ResearchGate, academia.edu, researcher.com, where you can find out the projects. These are the sources. These are the sources of research project offered by the Indian government. It's called DST. You can refer the DST websites. I hope you are aware about this. DBT. It's called CSIR. ICSSR, UGC, it's quite popular. A part of this, you can refer ICHR, Ministry of Environmental, Forest, Ministry of Electronics and IT. You can refer. These are some other ministries called the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, ICAR. So there are so many platforms and the sources where you people can find out the information related to projects. Okay. Even some regulatory bodies also offer some projects. I'm just going to share one of the draft. It's offered by the RBI. It's called this one. I hope is it visible to everyone?
Yes,
recently, they have offered one project, and the aim this is for the faculty teaching economics or finance in the university to increase the awareness about the activities of RBI. Okay. So in which you can write down the proposals based on the template which we have already shared. And the same is like for other, it's called, sorry, SEBI. Just a second. Regulatory bodies. This one. Okay. So you can also refer time to time. You have to be vigilant, some project offered by IRDA with the help of insurance and the risk management. Try Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. Most of the project is offered by the FSI, PNGRB. These are the some, sources of the projects. It's called Competition Commission of India, Pharmacy Council of India. This is how you can use some, like I got some questions about how to prepare the timeline. So you can use this chart, which is like include your time frame. Okay. Like you can divide your project tasks, then you can divide your months. So that would create some kind of good impression for the funders and So I think I'm going to skip this. Dr. Sadaf, I think we are running out of time.
Yeah, so we just have
Okay.
about 3 to 4 minutes left.
Yes. So I've included some slides related to international funding. Just Okay, so don't worry, I'm going to share the template and the sources of the international funding with the Dr. Sadaf. I hope that's fair enough.
Yes, sir. Sir, could you just please suggest some kind of funding agency in case of education or academics? As I'm from education department, other than the ICSR, so where we can just
Yeah, so
put our
you can
research.
refer.
Yes.
Have you ever tried for UGC, AICTC, and recently government has issued some project related to NEP 2020. Have you heard this National Education Policy 2020?
Yes, sir. I have heard, but I'm not aware of sir, projects related with that.
Okay, so you can refer MHRD sites, you can refer UGC, AICTC, and a few more sources are there. Let me check it out.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Mr.
Yeah, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Sir, ICSR, sir, is insisting about whether a university or institution it is under UGC affiliated or not. They are asking certain sections also. If it is not affiliated to UGC, they are not accepting the project, sir.
Can you please repeat?
Hello?
I just missed your question due to some disturbance.
So some scholars are working, PhD scholars are working for various institutions, sir.
Okay.
Some of them are approved by AICTE.
Okay.
When they are applied for the ICSR projects in the field of management, since it comes under AICTE, they are not accepting AICTE related work, sir.
I don't know, but as far as my knowledge is
Because
concerned,
engineering colleges comes under AICTE, sir. Engineering colleges comes under AICTE. So MBA department is also under AICTE in engineering colleges, sir. Then doctorates with MBA department and submitted certain projects. Since it is not coming under UGC section, they are not accepting, sir. The project is worthwhile. Hello.
yeah, I got a question. You said like if you are from
Hello?
different departments, so AICTC is not going to accept your proposal. Please write down the questions. I think
No problem, Dr. Rohit Bansal. You can probably find out about this and let us know. And then because we have a 6-day FDP, so in
I
these
understand.
5 days we can definitely inform our participants about it.
Yeah, I got it. So thank you so much, Dr. Sadaf and team, and best wishes from my side for the grand success of this FDP. And see you then.
Yeah.
And just last slide is that this one. If you wish, if anything, you can miss it out. You can write down. Sorry, this one.
Yeah. Meanwhile, sir, everyone's just noting down your details. I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you for sparing your time and highlighting all the important fundamentals of the research project, with the research problem being the most critical one, and also laying a lot of emphasis on ESG and going forward, implementing projects in the area of decarbonization and reducing carbon footprints. I think that is going to be a game changer for all of us. Another important aspect that you covered was the different agencies that we can approach and how we can outline the budgets, because I think budgeting becomes very challenging
Yes.
when we are
And even-
dealing with funded projects.
Yeah.
So thank you so
Because,
much for outlining
every
budgeting
funder
part.
is every funder is taking care of the GFR and other guidelines. So before that, we have to must have some understanding about the GFR. So thank you very much, and best
Thanks
wishes
to
from my
you,
side.
sir. Thank you.
Sure.
And thank you to the entire forum of our participants for being
Yes.
very patient, and I hope that this
True.
session was enriching for all of you.
Thank you.
So we will be meeting tomorrow again at 2 p.m. for our second session with another speaker, and we will be continuing with our FDP. Once again, thank you, Dr. Rohit Bansal, and thank you all the participants and our entire organizing team. I know today we had some issues not being able to permit everyone, but we're trying to resolve that. and we will definitely get more forum of participants and large for tomorrow. Sure. Thank you.